Now, Avdut and a whole bunch of people have gone with this entire conversation about 14-inch wheel. Why 14-inch? Somebody's also saying it's a con.
It's a con.
As in, it's a con in the sense that it's not a great idea. Why did they go with 14s? Right? They could have stuck with 12s. It would have been more agile. And most people are saying, why have they not gone with 14s at the rear as well? I know we've discussed this, but maybe
Okay, simple answer. The rear 14 is not going to happen because TVS said if we do that, we lose the space under the seat significantly. We gain mass significantly. We put more weight there significantly, which means suspension has to do much harder work significantly. 12 just makes sense. By 14, the clue is in what I said right at the end, saying who in the urban area is doing lots of short trips, who has lots of orbits every day, as it were. It's the people who have to deal with bad roads. When you want to deal with bad roads, you want a larger wheel. One, it gives it a different form factor, which differentiates it from the normal. Two, and this is the first time TVS has put a 14-inch wheel outside of the TVS X. The Orbiter is not a normal product, and not a lot of the solutions are coming from a rational place of, oh, we want to solve it from engineering. This is the first time TVS is sticking their neck out a little bit. The only two pieces of logic that make sense to me in this is stability is the primary goal of this product. Agility is not a goal of this product. It does not want to be agile. It wants to be natural. It wants to be responsive enough. And when the road goes bad, it wants to continue to go in the direction you think it should be going. Everything, all scooters cannot be about agility.
Also, I think let's remember that don't get carried away with just the numbers. The 12-inch at the rear, let's think about it practically. What hits a bump or something first? What has to deal with that shock? Is the front wheel. Where will that stability come from? Is the front wheel. The rear wheel being a 14-inch would be good to have, but is it a must-have? And by sticking to a 12-inch, is it spoiling something that you're looking for? Now, you can be the best judge of that, but for that, you have to ride it and experience it. And I mean, we had this conversation even for the Access, you remember?
We think we've had this conversation once. We've had this conversation over and over and over again. And you remember that thing about saying, oh, long stroke engine for torque and short stroke engine for horsepower? Yes, sure, in 1967.
So don't brainwash yourself saying that this is not a good option because of one of these parameters or whatever numbers.
Change your orbit. Think about what it does and not what it is. Okay, no, I'm not joking. I mean, I sound super sarcastic and super dismissive, but no, I'm serious. All scooters don't have to be agile. Everything with 14 inches can be stable, but everything with 14 inches doesn't need to be non-agile either. It's a balance that engineers will work out. If you remember, we were talking about the Hero Zoom 110 or the NTORQ 150. I'm not clear remembering which one, but they said the axle is on the stanchion tube of the front, and they seem to be playing with offset. These are all ways that engineers are using solutions.
Zoom 160.
This is the Zoom 160. Engineers are using ways to control chassis behavior, and they're saying there is not enough space to put 100 mm of travel, but there is a way to put 100 mm of travel, and I will do that thing. So visually, when you look at it, it can't look like that. It's the same as the other question saying, oh, the spokes on the Zoom look too thin. I don't know if it will handle bad roads. You cannot judge structures by looking at them any more than you can do this. I will suggest this. If this is your curiosity and it has got your attention, please make the effort to go ride an Orbiter, even if you have no intention of buying one, so that you can make the connection saying, oh, I thought the 14-inch wheel would do this, and this is what TVS designed it to actually do, what the gap is and what the direct connections are. You will have a better picture of what can be done.
Shumi's written the Orbiter briefly, and he's trying to figure out how it's going to fit into the real world. But how should you be thinking about it? How should you approach it? Well, we have lots of answers to those questions. You can watch that in the full episode of the MotorInc First, where we talk about the TVS Orbiter, which is playing on the MotorInc app, which is free to download and free to sign up on. And as always, this video will be available there for free as well.